Since the dawn of the 21st century, scientific discovery has rushed forward at lightning speed. Genetics, physics, computerized technology, robotics, virtual reality. Join Derek and Sharon Gilbert as they uncover the truths behind this ultimate scientific deception. Welcome to SciFriday.
A doorway on Mars? We explore it with science! Welcome to SciFriday. I'm Derek Gilbert.
I am Sharon Gilbert, and welcome to our home, everyone. We recorded one a show a few minutes ago, and this is our second SciFriday today, so that's why we're wearing the same clothes. And Jack, who was mowing the lawn last week, he's now gone.
Yeah.
That was a week ago. About time he left.
Thankfully, it takes less than a week to mow our yard.
Oh, gosh, it does take
him.
a long time. But before I forget, I forgot last time, so I want to thank Lynn for making these beautiful earrings. She is a master worker when it comes to woodwork, and she's got lots and lots of beautiful things. Her name is Lynn Shepard, and you can find her on Facebook, Shepard. I'm going to spell that out for you because if you ever want something particular made of like scroll saw, making beautiful things out of wood, she's amazing. And she made these for me last time.
I know. Wonderful gift.
Out of scrap wood. I love that.
And we'll see her again in Turkey in October.
I know.
She's coming along with us on the Turkey tour.
She's an incredible woman. I so love getting to see her. But I don't think that she came out of a door on Mars.
No. I'm not sure anything came out of the door on Mars. In fact, I'm not
like a
even
dachshund
sure.
that came out?
Yeah. Well, Marvin, he's very small and very angry. One of my favorite Warner characters.
Okay, assuming that Mars rover truly is on another planet and roving around, the doorway, it looks artificial.
Yes, it does. This was reported back in middle of May. So around May 18th, spotted in a series of photos taken by the Curiosity rover. And this was on day number 3,466.
It's getting tired.
Mission, yeah.
Poor little thing. It's climbing a hill, by the way. A very tall hill. Did you notice
about
that?
an 18,000-foot mountain it's climbing.
Yeah.
So go Curiosity.
Yeah.
It found what appears to be an opening, a doorway cut into the side of a cliff. This mound of rock is nicknamed the East Cliffs on Mount Sharp.
Did you notice that Mount Sharp has formations on it that are referred to as looking like dragon scales?
I had not noticed that.
It's in the article. Yeah.
Well,
buried down inside of it.
According to the official report, and this is from mars.nasa.gov, so this is the official account, and you know that we always take official accounts. What we want confirmation.
Get the salt.
Yeah. The size of this door is about the size of a dog door. 12 inches tall, 16 inches wide. And according to NASA, this type of fracture is common in bedrock, both on Mars and on Earth.
Yeah. I cannot speak for what actually is going on here, but the photograph is one of many, many, many other things that we've been seeing over the last years that imply intelligent life on other planets.
Right. Now, this program obviously going to get into some speculation, but we're happy to indulge that as long as we don't build doctrines on speculation. That we do not do.
No.
We talked with Timothy Alberino about his book Birthright, and he has connected Mars to an angelic civilization that pre-existed Adam. He refers to angels as our older siblings.
I always do too.
Our older brothers, because in the Bible we don't see any characters, female angels specifically named. There's one in the is it Zephaniah or Zechariah? I forget which one. Female characters that might be angelic, but it's not certain.
The ones carrying the basket.
The ones carrying the basket to Babylon. But be that as it may, older siblings, and he connects Mars to Edom, which means red. That's the land of Jordan, which includes the red desert around Petra, Wadi Rum, which you can see if you join us in our tour of Israel next spring. But And these photographs look a lot like some of those cliffs in Jordan.
Don't they, though? Yeah, I know.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything one way or the other. It just means God has a certain set of materials that he used to create all things.
He uses patterns. He shows himself as orderly in the patterns of the world.
Right. Any more than the fact that we have DNA and that, our plants and monkeys have DNA means we're all the same.
We have monkeys?
Monkeys have DNA. We don't know.
Sorry, you said our plants and monkeys have DNA.
Well, I'm speaking collective, the collective global we.
I'm teasing.
But it is, there may have been a civilization on that planet that pre-existed. So assuming that this is something that is not a natural creation, and I don't know enough about geology to know whether it is or it isn't.
Well, neither do I. There are formations here on Earth, some under the sea, that appear to be man-made. In fact, there's what is thought to be a ziggurat off the coast of Japan. And there are geologists who've looked at it and said, no, that's a simple, natural formation. Don't know if it is or not, but jumping to the conclusion that what looks like a rectangular door doesn't mean that it was man-made or made at all.
Or that it was made by aliens.
Martian-made.
Yeah, because as Christians, we need to remember that the Earth has been visited by inhuman entities for a very long time.
That's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why I want to just go back to what I said earlier about this drumbeat that has been going on now for decades, that we are not alone. And in fact, some of the stories no longer say we are not alone because they're on other planets. It's we are not alone because they're in other dimensions.
There are researchers into the UFO phenomenon like Jacques Vallée, who's admitted that these things move more like they're moving in and out of our dimension rather than just violating the laws of physics. It's just that we can't perceive them when they move out of the dimensions that we can perceive with our human senses. And again, as Christians, that shouldn't freak us out at all. We should, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what the Bible tells us, right? I mean,
angels appeared to the prophets.
Yeah, angels busted the apostles out of prison.
Yeah.
When it seemed like it was impossible for them to get out.
They can interact with the physical world.
Right.
In most cases, they look like men. So they take on human appearance. But there's something about them that the prophets knew was different. And we saw that same idea in Sodom because the local men knew these were angelic beings and they liked angel.
Right. So if Tim is correct in his theory that there's a connection between that part of the world, because ancient Sodom is not that far away from these sandstone cliffs, these red cliffs of ancient Jordan and the planet Mars, is it possible that the curiosity rather, is spotting a few relics from this It's possible.
Look,
it's possible.
Years ago, you and I started this whole journey because we wrote a book. It was in November of 2002. You and I decided to participate in a writing challenge. And from that, we got publishers, a publisher rather, and the publisher said, you have to put yourselves out there. So have a TV show. And we're like in Missouri with no money. We said, we can't do that. But podcasting had just come out. So we started something we called Peering into Darkness. It became PID Radio soon after. And on PID Radio, we talked to David Flynn. And he firmly believed that the structures on Mars were not natural.
Correct, yeah. And he's got books available from Defender Publishing. You can find those at the Skywatch TV store, skywatchtvstore.com. We don't carry them in our store, but highly recommend it. David's mind was just operating a whole nother level.
Incredible. And he even told us, I know in an early interview, he says, I was never good at math when I was a kid. And I thought, you have a brain that may not be able to get every calculation to show your work, but your bond.
He's seeing the connections between the numbers, right?
Yes, exactly.
His analysis of the occult signature of the Roswell event in 1947 is stunning. Even if, and there are other friends of ours who've investigated that, who concluded that it was a military test involving German scientists who had been smuggled out of Germany on the rat lines. But even if that's the case, the location of what happened in Roswell, the date that it happened, the numerical signature of that connected to other occult numbers of significance in the occult world is just absolutely stunning. So, Yeah.
He was incredible. He also wrote The Temple at the Center of Time, which is one of those remarkable books that I've had to read several times, and I still don't get most of what's in it. And I like to think I'm a little bit intelligent. But he, as you say, was just thinking on another plane. So the late David Flynn, he's with the Lord now. We miss him. His brother Mark, we should contact him and find out if we could interview him sometime. He's done some writing too.
He has. And the PID Radio Archives, if you've not yet gotten the free mobile app, which includes SciFriday and our weekly Bible study, the Gilbert House Fellowship, Unraveling Revelation, do that, because in the next weeks and months, we'll be moving the archives for PID Radio over to the app as well, so you can go back and listen to those old interviews and so forth.
Yes, and when you say free mobile app, he means the Gilbert House app. So go to gilberthouse.org. It's our app. It's through the same company that does the Skywatch TV app. It's a Christian company. So support that Christian company by downloading this app and helping them out. And they're very good about it. Everything is going to be there. So yeah, old PID radios. That's some interesting stuff. Tom Horn was one of our early
guests. Right. So a lot of these topics, and Tom has written about Mars as well in the novel that Tom wrote, The Armand Gate.
Yeah.
There was part of it was set on the planet Mars, and an entity that was perhaps trapped there. But, again, fiction, speculation, but the premise being that there was an angelic civilization on another planet that was part of the fall, and that God, in containing some of these enemies, has imprisoned some of them.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we can talk about this some more, but also discuss the things that are being hurled at us.
Yes. Largest comet ever, coming right at it. Well, not quite.
Not quite.
We'll talk about that next. Jesus told his followers to love our God with all of our hearts, souls, and minds. And that's what we try to do every week here at Gilbert House Ministries. This program is an outreach of our ministry. Every week, we search through the mysteries of end times prophecy on Unraveling Revelation. We look at the nexus of science and the supernatural on SciFriday. We study the Bible verse by verse in chronological order at the Gilbert House Fellowship. And each week, I interview fascinating guests on my podcast, A View from the Bunker. Producing that much content takes time. Serving up that much audio and video costs money, and so we depend on your support. You can support us in a couple of ways. First, you can donate through our website at gilberthouse.org, or you can contact us through the U.S. mail. Gilbert House Ministries, P.O. Box 78, Crane, Missouri 65633. And you can shop at our online store, a sort of a virtual book table, where during the month of June, you can save 20% on every one of Sharon's 7 novels in her series of supernatural thrillers, The Red Wing Saga. Just use promo code JUNE20 at checkout. That's JUNE20. We are grateful for your help in fulfilling our mission. We thank you for your prayers and your support. Welcome back to SciFriday. I'm Derek Gilbert.
I am Sharon Gilbert, and we're delighted that you've chosen to join us once again in our home. We have that mobile app that we discussed before. Go to gilberthouse.org, and you will find that. You'll also find our store. And during the month of June, is it still June when this is running?
Oh, yeah.
During the month of June, you get 20% off all the Red Wing books. And by all, I mean all the ones that are published, because Book 8 is still in my computer. It's not published yet, but it will be soon. So go to gilberthouse.org, click on store, I think, and you can
bookstore,
shop.
I think.
Yeah, well, you can shop. It's pretty obvious. And go there. If you want to buy just one book, that's fine. If you want to buy all 7 that we have there currently, that's fine too. We appreciate your help, and many of you have been kind enough to actually support us through donations, and we just want to thank you for that, because we do the Sunday Bible study, we do View from the Bunker, which is an interview program. We do these, of course, now on our own, so it's all part of the GHTV family.
Yeah, it's about 3 to 4 hours worth of, it's about 4.5 hours of content every week. So,
it's great. Actually, I love doing this. I can think of no other person with whom I would want to be doing this.
Well, our conversations at home are often like this.
They're just
here,
like
we just
this.
happen to have the cameras on, and we're slightly more structured than when we
a little bit, yeah,
but not a whole lot.
But yeah, boy, that is true.
Well,
but yeah, getting back to the things that are in space and maybe traveling through space.
A comet the size of Rhode Island is coming at us.
That's big.
Actually larger than Rhode Island. This is the Bernardinelli-Bernstein comet, officially known as C/2014 UN 271. I like Bernardinelli-Bernstein,
that's
or
better.
BB.
I like BB.
Yeah. It's, according to the experts, larger than the state of Rhode Island, estimated 500 trillion tons, 50 times larger than the average comet core, largest comet ever been observed. It will pass by the sun within the next 10 years.
So I'm guessing that this is a relatively young comet, because each time they come through our solar system and go by the sun, they lose a little bit of themselves.
They do, yeah. Sun burns it away. This is considerably larger than Halley's Comet, Hale-Bopp, which was about 7 times bigger than Halley. This is about a little less than double the size of Hale-Bopp. So, very, very large. Discovered in 2010. That was the first observation, named in 2014, hence the C/2014.
Well, how close is it coming this pass? And when?
Well, let's see. Checking this now. They first observed it when it was about 3 billion miles out, 93 million miles to the sun. So that's a ways out there.
Yeah, it's got some time.
Let me see. I don't know if they have estimated what the orbit is.
I wondered about it because nothing was popping in my head about it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's expected to make its closest approach in 2031, about 1 billion miles away from the sun. So again, we're about 93 million.
2031, that's 2 years after Apophis.
Yes.
Goes past.
Yes, interesting. So, there have been some who sent us notes about this and said, hey, could this be related somehow to wormwood?
Well,
don't think so, because the distance at which it's going to pass, the size should make it visible, I think.
Yes, but let me just throw this out there. There is something called the Yarkovsky Effect. It basically means there's lots of stuff out there that we can't see and quantify that will change the path, the trajectory of items that are traveling through our solar system. It could be that they get too close to another planet, which throws them, or they hit some pocket of dark matter that we have no idea what is going on. It could just hit an asteroid. There are a lot of that. Think of what are those old games you play that come on, what are they called? Pinball. Yep, I never played them. Well, I did, but I was terrible at it. So I didn't really spend much time. I was not a pinball wizard. Yeah, I did know the song. But yeah, stuff bounces around. So as you're coming through, and I did play pool. No, okay, right. I played pool. So I understand that the tiniest kiss on one side can totally change the direction of your shot. So if the Yarkovsky effect is valid, then the path it's taking now could change radically by the time it gets here. Yeah.
Don't know. I'll do some research on this, and if we can put a graphic showing the projected orbit of this trajectory of this comet on the screen, I will do that. But the thing that's really significant is that just the size.
It's
again,
so big.
50 times larger than your typical comet. So what is it that would make it so big? Why is it only been discovered within the last decade?
Yeah.
And does this confirm the existence of the Oort Cloud, which is just theoretical, this theoretical belt of trans-Neptunian objects kind of orbiting around it? They don't know for sure that the Oort Cloud actually exists, but they're trying to figure out where comets come from.
No, that's settled science, isn't it?
No, afraid not. But yeah, they're referring to this as a mega comet. So the next 9-10 years should be interesting as Bernardinelli-Bernstein. Is it Bernstein? I guess I put an N in there that wasn't there. Bernardinelli-Bernstein is the approaches the Earth. So yeah.
Getting back to the Yarkovsky Effect.
No, they just misspelled it in the other headline. It is Bernstein.
Yeah. So. Well, I've never heard
I was
of that.
right. Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
But getting back to the Yarkovsky Effect, I think as a believer, as a Christian, I would call the Yarkovsky Effect, it goes where the Lord wants it to go. Because when he says these things are coming at us, it's not because the Lord saw ahead into the future and saw a natural event that he's merely allowing John to see. No. He holds all things together, literally holds all things together down to the subatomic level. He is there. He is the glue, if you want to put it that way, that holds the world together. Chaos, on the other hand, which is actually the name of an entity, you've probably heard us talk about it, wants the opposite. Right. Chaos would like for everything to just fly apart.
Mm-hmm. So when you're talking about Revelation chapter 8 and the flaming mountain that falls from the sky, or wormwood, which falls into the sea.
Yeah.
We talked about this on our Unraveling Revelation program, that we're looking at entities more than a mega comet.
I think so too. I also think that if Tim Alberino is correct, and we've had civilizations prior to the creation of Adam that existed on other worlds. In fact, Tim argues that Adam was made from the earth, from the ground here, because Adam was created to be king here. This was his domain. And the fallen realm, the Nakash in the garden, decided to just upset all that, because they didn't want him to rule it. They wanted to rule it.
Right.
If Tim is right, then there could be entities all over the place outside of our world who are fallen. We're not told that all the fallen realm are here.
No, that's true. And that had not...
They may be.
Yeah.
But nowhere that I can think of does it say every fallen entity is bound to Earth.
That's true. And as Tim pointed out during our interviews with him about the book Birthright, the parable of the Prodigal Son is a picture of us returning to the Father through Jesus Christ, and him welcoming us back, and the older brother, the angels, being upset and saying, what am I? I mean, I've been here the whole time, faithful and loyal to you. And the Father's saying, calm down. You got your inheritance, but he was lost and now he's found. So get the servants and let's, prepare a feast. It's like, who are the servants?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That's the other question. So
I've never thought of that.
No, me neither. Tim is brilliant.
Yeah.
So you need to buy that book, by the way. We should sell it in our store. Nah. Let all the proceeds go to Tim. So go to Tim Alberino and find that. What's this website?
TimAlberino.com.
No,
I think.
Go there. We'll check on that, and he'll put it lower third. But I would argue that the demons, the spirits of the Nephilim, they are, because they were part human, part earth, that they are bound here. That may be why they are bound here, and that may even be why they're territorial, because we've had a number of deliverance ministers, including the late Russ Tisdard, who believed that there is an aspect to demonic activity that seems to be either territorial or familial.
I'd never thought about that, but yeah. If, as Tim theorizes, and I think there's something to this, we were created to have dominion of the earth because we are created from the same stuff in the natural realm, not necessarily, the dirt of the earth, but this natural realm. Whereas the angels are described as their first estate, their proper dwelling.
Yeah, where was that?
Spirit realm.
Well, yes, it could be the spirit realm, but where in the spirit realm? They all left their first home, their first estate. When I was a kid, I thought, estate? What are you talking about? But it just means their first home.
Right, their primary dwelling. They were created to have dominion in that realm. Therefore, when they came here and tried to rebel, God said, no, we're not doing that.
Exactly. And that is why Jesus Christ had to be 100% human.
Right.
And 100% Lord God Almighty, because only by the Lord God Almighty being perfect within a 100% human body could he provide salvation and also become king.
Right.
He is the new Adam. That's why he's called that, because he will take that throne that the fallen realm would love to take as their own, but they can't because they're not 100% human.
Right.
And 100% divine.
And the hybrids that they created, the giants were half and half, whereas Jesus is 100%
It was like
and
they were
100%.
trying to co-opt that throne for themselves.
I think that's what the plan was.
Yeah.
Well, coming back to Mars then, full circle. And the...
Circle back?
Yeah. She's not there anymore.
No, she's not.
Yep.
Will her show be called Circle Back, do you think?
It should be.
I know.
If there's any justice. Of course, we're talking about the former
Jen
press
Psaki.
secretary of the... It's not surprising that we are being fed a steady diet of stories about things like the doorway on Mars, which even though NASA has denied it, that just adds fuel to the fire for those who choose to believe that there are other entities out there. And that's the whole point, wanting us to believe that these other entities coming from out there are our true progenitors, and they are coming back to save us.
Yes, and you and Josh Peck wrote a book about that, The Day the Earth Stands Still, and it's all about that whole push to get us to believe that lie. It's another lie.
It is.
So panspermia is an idea that these entities came down and started mankind. They took the Creator's place, but they're coming back, right? That's what we're told.
Right. No, the Creator is from here and from there at the same time. 100% divine, 100% human. These entities coming from elsewhere, other dimensions, are trying to get us to buy into the idea that our Creator is, a space brother of some sort.
They're still lying to us.
Yeah. I hate to say this because we saw this with Hale Bopp and the Stargate cult.
Oh,
was it Heaven's Gate cult?
Yes. Oh, my
that there
goodness.
may be another false belief religion that comes out of the approach of this so-called mega comet over the next 10 years.
Well,
especially as we move closer and closer to the end of the age, whenever that may be.
Well, we may have to actually discuss that on Unraveling Revelation, because I think that there have been a number of cults that have been built around celestial events and celestial beliefs and creation beliefs. So, yes, watch for that on an upcoming episode of Unraveling Revelation.
Yeah.
We'll tie it in with SciFriday.
Yeah. Well, science is awesome, and looking at and just appreciating the beauty of the heavens is just magnificent. Just thinking that God created us to have dominion over this beautiful little blue-green ball in the middle of space. Is there something else out there? We don't know. It's probable God would have told us if we were likely to encounter something from Zeta Reticuli.
And if we needed to know.
Yes, but he did warn us from very early in the scriptures that we would encounter inhuman entities, and that we were not, according to Apostle John, we are to test them because not all are from God. That's the takeaway from this week's lesson, I think.
I think so too.
Thank you for watching. This is SciFriday.
SciFriday is a viewer-supported outreach of Gilbert House Ministries. Follow us online at scifriday.tv and gilberthouse.org. That's where you'll find our weekly Bible study, the Gilbert House Fellowship. Join us each week as we go through the Bible verse by verse in chronological order. We'd love to hear from you. Contact us through our websites or drop us a line at P.O. Box 78, Crane, Missouri 65633.